singer of Sound Off is the lead guitarist in Senior Discount. Oh, okay. So he came convenient. Well, he came up as a Senior Discount fan and kind of reached us to us, was writing into the podcast and coming to Senior Discount shows. And he's like one of the most hilarious people I ever met in my life. His name is Eric Maxud, and he's very easy to get frazzled. One of our recent disagreements is that he believes that in the Providence Place Mall that you should wait in line at the kiosk to pay for your parking. Well, I'm like, why don't you just go to the exit and pay with your credit card? And he's very heated about it. We have a very heated discussion about it. And he's hilarious. He's a very strange guy. And because I know he's a good person at heart and he's a good guy and Sound Off is a good group of kids, we played our CD release show at Lupo's with Badfish. And I knew they were going to get another band, and I'm like, how about we get Sound Off to do the opening spot? They're good kids. Let's get them on. And so I reached out to Badfish's manager, and we got that happening. And also, this big anniversary show that we're doing at the Met on July 31st, they're the band that's actually direct support to us. So they're one of the bands that kind of helps us do that.
Very cool. Well, why don't we take a break here? Now, this is going to be very interesting. During the break, Tony is going to break out a rubber hose, and he's going to beat the hell out of me because I did not tell you who the first band was. The first song that we listened to on the way in.
Yep.
I'm docking your salary.
Take a zero off, I understand. Well, that first band was Miss Invader.
All right.
The name of the song was Ducks Ducking Duct Tape.
I like that. That's a good one. I like it.
It was actually, if you remember the band, Big Dirty Nelson, Ty Gerard, very nice guy. He actually breaks one of the cardinal rules I have. If the more excited someone is handing you that free CD, the more it's going to suck. Like, oh, my God, you got to listen to this. Oh, my God, I got to listen to this.
I want a jaded musician handing me a CD and barely caring if I take it from him.
He barely wants to give you the time of day.
I spent my 401k on this. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, listen to this.
This is the reason I don't have a wife anymore.
Well, why don't we leave on one of your songs?
Sure.
Name of the song is Afterlife. You're listening to My Night Out Radio on Rhode Island Free Radio. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, My Night Outers. A little technical difficulty, but we're going to work our way through that. In studio tonight, we do have Chuck and Gina. Chuck from Senior Discount. Gina is, well, Chuck's girlfriend.
Yep.
And we're talking about, well, now we're talking about his upcoming big show at the Met.
Yep, Senior Discount is doing our 11-year anniversary show at the Met in Providence. Technically Pawtucket, but I say Providence. On July 31st. It's a Friday. It's going to be great. What we're doing is we're doing a full set as the headliners of Blink-182 songs. The direct support band is Sound Off. They're doing a full set of Green Day songs. A bunch of Rhode Island musicians are getting together to do a set of Goldfinger songs. And the opener is Premier from Massachusetts, and they're doing a whole set of Yellow Card songs. And I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really hoping that we get some new people to come out that aren't really part of the local scene yet.
Well, I got to ask you a question that's been bugging me.
Sure.
And it feeds back into one of my earlier questions about the whole pay-to-play thing.
Yes.
If a band opens up at noon and you're going on at 11 o'clock at night, can they say that they opened for you?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so. We played a show where we played with Less Than Jake in Connecticut, at Hartford, Connecticut. And I think it's the Webster and the Webster Underground are the two venues that are connected.
Yep.
And they had three total bands in the Webster, which is the bigger room, and then 3 bands before that in the Webster Underground. And I think we were first of that. So there's a total of 6. We were 1, and Less Than Jake was 6.
So is there a time frame? If you're like more than 4 hours? Or
yeah. I know.
If there's more than 22 equipment changes?
I think if it's in the same day, you could do it, right?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a gray area because a lot of people will say, well, I opened for this big national act, and no, you didn't.
I played on Warped Tour at 11:30, and at 8 p.m. NoFX played, so I opened for NoFX. I don't know. That doesn't really fly. I don't know.
Well, were you on the same stage?
No, I'm just saying hypothetically. If you're on the same stage, does that make it different? That's interesting.
These are all these questions that I want
That's a good question
because I have somehow gotten dragged into a meeting with a lot of promoters and a lot of the bands that are coming up.
Yeah, and
they want to know, first off. How they want to define what is and what isn't pay to play. They want to find out,
Is that one of the? Is that a question? Is that a question? The when does it break off from we opened for this person?
Yeah, well, that is one of the questions I want to find out because
interesting.
I've watched, especially at the Juggalo nights.
Yes,
they're opening at noon, 11 o'clock in the morning, and the headliner doesn't go on for 10, 12 hours.
I don't know.
And you got 20 some odd people in between you and the headliner.
That is a gray area.
Yeah.
That's hard. I would probably say it. I would probably say something like, we've shared the stage with.
Downplay it a little.
Yeah, right. But
but not really.
Some sort of, differentiation between we opened for, right? That's what you should do.
I think if you're more than three bands away, you didn't open for.
Oh, I don't know. 3 bands.
Maybe 4.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Maybe you could say something like, we played, if like the Juggalo Fest, if it was called the Gathering of the Juggalos, you could say, we played the Gathering of the Juggalos and so did blah. Maybe that could be the footnote to what you say you've done.
So we're going to have to get someone to break this down into legal semantics.
An official band resume manager, yeah.
No, I like making light of this stuff because a lot of people are getting very uptight over this.
Oh, yes, they are.
And can't we just hug this out?
Yeah.
I mean, the ugly guys, all right, that bro hug over your shoulder. But I'll hit you with the other hand because I'm hugging you, but I'm still hitting you.
Yeah.
But if they're cute, the ladies especially, if you need a hug, ladies, definitely come see me.
Yep.
DJ Psycho Eddie, hit me up on Facebook at MyNightOut Radio. At Verizon.net.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think that the people that are kind of the most rational about this are people closer to the top of who's going to make decisions and what's going to happen. So hopefully logic prevails and that there's some sort of
I just hope
resolution.
Everyone can just get along.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of hostility and finger pointing. And I'm not going to perpetuate this anymore because it's affecting a lot of people. Yeah,
it's really interesting. I feel bad because I do think that there are a lot of practices that could be dealt with a lot better, but I think that the people who want to vilify others are really overdoing it and really kind of ascribing things that aren't necessarily true.
Do you think it's part of the, well, I'm doing this crappy stuff too, but he does it worse than I do, so attract attention to him instead of me?
It's really affecting Rob Duguay because he can't find a ride home.
I've also given him a ride home, by the way,
So
from
you
Scurvy
also
Dog.
have-
Yeah,
you have
You've
been
been Duguayed.
yeah. I saw that post on the Pay to Play news group. I didn't know if we were. I don't know if you guys are friends or if you were taking a shot at him.
No. Rob and I get along I
Good.
get along with everybody.
Yeah,
I have no animosity towards people because if I do, I just don't talk to them. I don't bring them up.
Right.
Like you do with your podcast.
Right.
If you're going to bring out negativity,
Yeah.
it's not really worth it because
I agree.
eventually the toes you're stepping on, eventually they're connected to the butt you're going to have to kiss on your way back down.
Yeah, right. I agree with that. I think it's funny because we're at a place in the scene where I don't necessarily have a problem with anybody, which is great because I've had fights with people before. But I think that there's some people who probably have a problem with me, and it's not stuff that would be tied to anything as serious as what's going on. It's little petty things. So I feel very comfortable kind of not weighing in on this that much. I think that bands need to be protected a little bit more, and I feel like Senior Discount, I think in 2014, I think every show except for one, we didn't get paid because the headliner didn't get covered, and that kind of stuff has to stop. But the thing is, it's not because there's fat cat promoters walking away with full pockets. It's because people are losing money and people are taking on responsibilities that they shouldn't be taking on.
I agree.
And I feel bad because to have a guy put on a show, lose a couple $100 and not be able to pay the opening bands, it does suck for the opening bands. But to have other people say, well, that guy walked away with all the money, it's just simply not true.
I've seen shows where, the last band goes on, the promoter closes the money box and just walks out the back door.
Oh, yeah.
That was absolutely. In fact, the band that was on stage, the lead singer stopped and said, "Well, looks like I'm not getting paid tonight." if you remember Name in Vain, Matt Pelosi,
that sounds familiar.
I've known him literally since high school.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how old I am. Just say that I'm an elder statesman in the scene.
Yeah. Anyway, your graduating class of 2011.
No. There was a 1990.
It's a 19.7 in front of that.
I can honestly say I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, sure.
I'm older, and I've seen a lot of this stuff for 20 years.
Yeah.
Thankfully, now people are finally saying, "Okay, let's do something about it."
Yeah.
But you had mentioned earlier the Warped Tour.
Yes.
It's an excellent tour. They do bring a lot of local bands on.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break right now. One of the bands in the 2015 Warped Tour that I had the opportunity to go on Tuesday in Mansfield, It Lives, It Breathes.
Oh, nice.
I talked to them. I got one of their CDs, and, you're going to be hearing it right now. It Lives, It Breathes. The name of the song is One More Night. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to My Night Out Radio.
I hope to God